The galaxy was vast, filled with advanced alien civilizations, all watching each other carefully. No one paid much attention to Earth. In fact, most thought the planet was nothing more than a forgotten speck in the universe. Its people, humanity, were considered primitive and weak. For centuries, Earth's existence was ignored, and the rest of the universe moved on, believing the human race would never amount to anything. But they were wrong. Deep within the heart of Earth, beneath the surface, something ancient had been buried. It had been hidden, waiting for the right moment. This secret was older than any civilization in the galaxy. The humans had no idea what lay beneath their feet. They lived their lives, unaware that they were on the brink of discovering something that would change everything. Everything began to shift when the alien fleet appeared in the sky. A massive, unmarked fleet of warships entered Earth's atmosphere, cloaked by technology so advanced that it was nearly invisible. The aliens came without warning. Their ships were sleek, dark, and nearly silent. They did not come with peace in mind. They came with a purpose: to conquer Earth, to wipe out humanity and claim the planet as their own. After all, they had conquered countless worlds before. Humans were nothing special, just another primitive species ripe for destruction. But as the alien ships settled over the major cities, they began to feel something strange in the air, a strange energy, one that they hadn't anticipated. Their sensors began to malfunction. Communications were cut off. The fleet started to lose control. Panic spread among the alien commanders. The truth was, Earth had something hidden, something so powerful that it was able to disrupt even the most advanced alien technology. Far beneath the surface of the planet, an ancient power stirred. The humans had no idea what was happening at first. People looked up in fear, seeing the alien ships looming in the sky, but they didn't know what to do. Panic set in as they watched the ships' shadows stretch across their cities, and the air felt thick with danger. But not everyone was afraid. In a remote research facility, a team of scientists had been working on something for years. They had been studying old texts, forgotten by time, and had uncovered something extraordinary. They found references to a power that could change the course of history. It was hidden deep within the planet, buried for millennia, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. They had suspected it was real, but they never imagined it could be this important. As the alien fleet hovered over Earth, the scientists activated the ancient power. The ground shook. A loud hum filled the air. The aliens felt at first the pulse that coursed through their ships, shaking them to their core. The fleet began to lose control. The ships dropped out of formation, and one by one, their systems failed. The invaders could only watch in horror as their advanced technology faltered. For the first time in centuries, the humans realized something incredible. Earth was not as defenseless as everyone thought. They had always underestimated the power of their planet. But now, the ancient force that had been buried for so long was coming to life. It was humanity's last hope. In the capital city, military leaders scrambled to understand what was happening. They saw the alien ships falling from the sky, unable to hold their position. Some thought it was a miracle, while others believed it was just a temporary glitch in the alien ship systems. But the truth was far greater than they could imagine. The force beneath the Earth's surface had awakened, and it was more than just a weapon. It was the planet itself fighting back. The people of Earth began to see the truth. Humanity was connected to the planet in ways they had never understood. The ancient power that lay dormant was not just a tool. It was a force that responded to the will of the people. As the alien fleet crashed and burned, the humans on Earth felt a surge of energy. It was as if the Earth itself was alive, pushing back against the invaders with every ounce of its strength. The alien commanders tried to regroup, but they were helpless. Their ships were falling apart. Their weapons failed to fire. They had underestimated humanity, and now they were paying the price. The battle raged on for hours, but Earth's hidden force was unstoppable. The aliens, once so confident in their ability to conquer, were retreating. One by one, their ships were brought down by the very planet they had come to conquer. Humanity, though small in number, had found a power that could match the might of the greatest civilizations in the galaxy. As the last of the alien fleet was destroyed, the sky above Earth began to clear. The humans stood in awe, unable to fully comprehend what had just happened. They had won, but they knew that this was just the beginning. The galaxy had underestimated them. Now, the universe would have to reckon with the power of Earth, a power that no one had expected and no one could defeat. The humans didn't know what the future held, but one thing was certain: Earth had hidden power, and it was ready to rise. They had awakened something ancient, something stronger than anything the galaxy had ever seen. The aliens might have left for now, but they would never forget what had happened. And humanity? They would never again be seen as weak. For centuries, Earth had been ignored by the universe. To the advanced alien races scattered across the galaxy, Earth was just another backwater planet, weak, unimportant, and forgotten. They thought humans were nothing more than a primitive species, struggling to survive on a small, insignificant world. They had no idea that Earth was hiding something far more powerful than any of them could imagine. It all began when a massive alien fleet, led by the ruthless Cygna Empire, entered Earth's orbit. The Cygna had conquered dozens of planets, each more advanced than the last. They believed they were the rulers of the universe, unstoppable in their ambition. Earth, however, was merely an afterthought to them. They had no real reason to fear it. They saw it as a simple task to take the planet, wipe out the human population, and claim it for their own. But something went wrong. The Cygna fleet descended. Their ships experienced strange, unexplainable malfunctions. Weapon systems began to short-circuit. Communications with the mothership were interrupted. The aliens were confused, unsure of what was happening. It was as if the very air around Earth was blocking their technology. One by one, the ships in the fleet began to lose their power. The Cygna commanders ordered an immediate landing, determined to capture Earth no matter what. But as they touched down, a strange energy wave surged through their ships, causing them to crash uncontrollably. Panic spread among the invading forces. The soldiers, who were once so sure of their victory, were now running in confusion. Back on Earth, a group of scientists in a hidden underground research facility watched in awe as the alien fleet's chaos unfolded on their screens. They had spent years studying Earth's ancient history and had uncovered long-forgotten secrets. They knew Earth was special, though the rest of the galaxy had forgotten it. Beneath the surface of the planet lay something extraordinary, something capable of resisting even the most advanced alien technologies. When the first Cygna ship crashed into the ground, a wave of power spread through the Earth. The scientists understood what was happening. The forgotten planet was awakening. Thousands of years ago, before humanity had even evolved, an ancient civilization had hidden an enormous source of energy deep within Earth's core. This power was not like anything the Cygna had ever encountered. It was a living force, tied to the planet itself. It had been waiting, dormant for ages, waiting for the right time to reveal itself. And now, that time had come. The humans had never understood the true nature of this energy, but as the Cygna invaders fought to regain control of their damaged ships, they unwittingly triggered the ancient force. The planet itself began to fight back. The energy waves spread across Earth. The invading Cygna forces were overwhelmed. Their weapons, once so powerful, now malfunctioned. Their technology could not keep up with the planet's mysterious power. The Cygna soldiers tried to regroup, but they were not prepared for this. Their ships were no longer their weapons. They were just another obstacle, like the rest of Earth, caught in the power of an ancient force that they could not control. On the surface, the people of Earth could not fully understand what was happening, but they could feel it. It was as though the planet itself was alive, responding to the threat that had come from the stars. People all around the world began to notice strange phenomena, unexplained earthquakes, strange energy surges, and even the weather seemed to change, as if the Earth itself was fighting to protect them. The humans fought back, but they didn't need to rely solely on their weapons. The energy from the planet was helping them. It was as though the Earth was guiding them, giving them strength and power beyond anything they had known before. The aliens had thought they would be able to take Earth with ease, but they were wrong. As the days passed, the Cygna forces began to fall apart. Their ships continued to crash, Their soldiers continued to be overwhelmed by the planet's energy, and their commanders began to panic. They had underestimated Earth. They had thought it was just another easy conquest, but now they were running for their lives. The battle raged on for hours, but the tide was turning. Earth's hidden power had come to life, and the Zygna were helpless against it. Their once proud fleet was now in ruins, their soldiers defeated, and their plan to conquer Earth had turned into a desperate retreat. As the final Zygna ship fell from the sky, the humans watched in disbelief. They had won. Against all odds, they had driven the most powerful alien empire in the galaxy off their planet. The Earth had fought back with a strength no one had expected. The humans did not understand the full extent of the power they had unlocked, but they knew one thing for sure: Earth was no longer a forgotten planet. The galaxy would remember the name of Earth from now on. And the Zygna Empire, who had once thought Earth was a simple, weak world, would never forget the day they tried to conquer the forgotten planet and failed. As the dust settled, the humans stood tall, knowing that their world had just begun to show the galaxy what it was truly capable of. They had awakened an ancient power, and it had given them victory. And now, no one would ever forget Earth again. The galaxy had long looked down on Earth. Among the many advanced alien civilizations, Earth was a forgotten planet, weak, insignificant, and far from the center of power. Humanity was no different in the eyes of the galaxy's rulers. For centuries, humans had been dismissed as a primitive species with little to offer. The universe's most powerful empires saw Earth as nothing more than a nuisance, a place to be ignored, a world of no consequence. But Earth was about to change all that. The first signs of trouble for Earth's would-be conquerors came when a strange fleet of alien warships appeared in the sky. The invading fleet was massive, its ships sleek and terrifying. It was the Korean Empire, a ruthless race known for their destructive power. They had taken over countless planets, and now they had set their sights on Earth. They believed that humanity would be no match for their advanced weaponry and military strategy. The Korean fleet descended without hesitation, intending to crush humanity in a swift and decisive strike. The aliens expected an easy victory. What they didn't know was that Earth had been preparing for something like this for years, even though no one outside the planet believed it. The humans had been building, training, and secretly gathering strength. It wasn't much, but it was enough to change the course of history. On Earth's surface, things were tense. Governments scrambled to defend their cities. People who had never held a weapon in their life found themselves thrust into battle. The alien ships landed with a deafening roar, and the skies lit up with blinding flashes of energy as the first shots were fired. The humans were terrified, but they had no choice but to fight first. It looked like the humans didn't stand a chance. The Korean fleet unleashed a devastating barrage of firepower, leveling entire cities in a matter of minutes. The alien forces moved quickly, their soldiers landing in strategic locations, sweeping through Earth's defenses with ruthless efficiency. But something unexpected began to happen. The human resistance, though small and untrained, fought back with a fierce determination that the aliens hadn't anticipated. It wasn't the advanced technology or the powerful weapons that made them a threat. It was their will to survive. Every time the Korean soldiers thought they had crushed humanity, the humans stood back up, stronger and more united than before. They were the underdogs, and they were not going to go down without a fight. In the midst of the chaos, a group of young soldiers discovered an ancient relic buried deep in Earth's mountains. It was an old artifact, a weapon long forgotten by time. It was the key to unlocking Earth's true power, a power that no one, not even the Korean Empire, had counted on. The artifact was unlike anything the aliens had ever seen. It hummed with energy, pulsing with a force that seemed to make the ground tremble beneath their feet. The humans knew they had found something extraordinary. The soldiers, with the help of a group of scientists, began to study the relic. They quickly realized that it was more than just a weapon. It was a link to the ancient past, to a time when Earth was a powerful force in the galaxy, a time when humans were the masters of their own destiny. The Korean Empire had no idea what was about to hit them. The human resistance grew stronger. The Korean commanders began to notice something strange. Their once unstoppable fleet was being pushed back, bit by bit. Their soldiers, trained to crush civilizations, were now struggling to keep up with the humans' tactics. The Korean Empire had underestimated Earth, and now they were paying the price. The humans, using the power of the ancient relic, were able to level the playing field. They began to develop new weapons, using the relic's energy to enhance their own technology. The once overwhelming alien advantage was slowly slipping away. The Korean fleet, once confident in its victory, was now in full retreat. As the final battle approached, the humans made a daring strike against the Korean flagship. They fought through impossible odds, using their knowledge of the terrain, their resourcefulness, and the power of the ancient artifact. It was a battle like no other in Underdog's story that no one could have predicted. The Korean fleet was shattered, and their command ship fell to the ground in a fiery explosion. The humans had won. Against all odds, they had beaten the most powerful empire in the galaxy. The victory was not just a military one. It was a statement. The galaxy would never again look at Earth the same way. The humans had proven that even the smallest, weakest species could rise up and defy the odds. They had proven that the underdogs could be the victors. In the aftermath of the battle, Earth's leaders began to rebuild, knowing that their victory was just the beginning. They had discovered a hidden strength within themselves, a power they had never known existed. The Korean Empire may have been defeated, but there were many other empires out there, watching and waiting. But Earth was no longer the forgotten planet. The rise of the underdogs had begun, and now the universe would have to reckon with the strength of humanity. The humans had shown that no matter how small or insignificant they were thought to be, they had the will to fight, to survive, and to win. And in the end, that was more powerful than any fleet or empire. For centuries, Earth had been ignored by the universe. Its people were seen as nothing more than a primitive species, struggling to survive on a small, insignificant planet. The galaxy's most powerful civilizations looked at Earth with disdain, believing that humanity had nothing of value to offer. But they couldn't have been more wrong. Deep beneath the surface of Earth, buried in a forgotten part of the world, an ancient weapon waited in silence. It had been hidden by an advanced civilization long before humanity had risen. This weapon was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. It was powerful enough to change the balance of power in the universe. But no one knew it existed. No one except a small group of people who had stumbled upon its location. The story began when the HFY Empire, one of the most fearsome alien forces in the galaxy, turned its attention to Earth. For the HFY, conquering planets was their way of life. They had wiped out countless civilizations, using their advanced technology and ruthless strategies. When they arrived at Earth, they saw it as another easy conquest. Their fleet was massive, their weapons devastating. They expected to crush humanity with little effort. The humans, unprepared and overwhelmed, watched in fear as the HFY fleet entered their atmosphere. Cities were burned, and entire regions of the world were decimated in the blink of an eye. The aliens didn't care about the human population. They were here to take Earth and move on to the next planet. But the HFY were not as invincible as they thought. Far below the surface, in a remote underground facility hidden deep within a mountain range, a group of scientists had been studying ancient texts for years. These texts spoke of a weapon buried long ago by a civilization far older than anything the galaxy had seen. The scientists had dismissed it as myth until they uncovered something strange, an energy reading unlike anything they had encountered before. It was coming from deep within the Earth, a place no one had dared to explore. The HFY's assault on Earth intensified. The scientists finally made the decision to investigate. They followed the energy signal, traveling to the location where the weapon had been hidden for millennia. What they found was beyond anything they had imagined. The weapon was not a traditional weapon, not one made of metal and firepower. It was something much more dangerous, something that tapped into the very core of the planet itself. The weapon was a living force, a powerful energy source that could be harnessed to bend the laws of nature. It was linked to the planet's core, a creation of the ancient civilization that had long since vanished. The HFY forces continued their destruction on Earth. The scientists activated the weapon. They had no idea what to expect, but the moment they did, everything changed. The ground trembled as energy surged through the planet, spreading from the core and sending shockwaves across the Earth. The HFY fleet, which had been confident in its victory, began to experience strange malfunctions. Their ships started to lose power. Communications failed. Weapons misfired. The invaders were confused. Unable to understand what was happening. In the heart of the HFY fleet, the commanding officer was thrown into a panic. The humans were not supposed to have any weapons capable of stopping them. How could this be? As the weapons' power spread throughout the planet, it began to reach the alien ships. One by one, they started to fall from the sky. The HFY soldiers tried to regroup, but the weapon had already begun its work. Their technology was no match for the ancient force that was now unleashed. Back on the surface, the humans who had activated the weapon realized that they had made a powerful discovery. This weapon was unlike anything they could have imagined. It wasn't just a tool of destruction, it was a force that could reshape the world, a power that could turn the tide of war in an instant. As the last of the HFY ships fell, the humans felt the weight of what they had just unleashed. The weapon was still active, its energy pulsing through the Earth's core. The planet itself seemed alive, responding to the threat in ways that were both terrifying and awe-inspiring. The HFY, once confident in their victory, were now retreating. They had underestimated humanity, and now they were paying the price. The humans, though still recovering from the shock of what had just happened, began to understand the true power of the weapon they had uncovered. It was not just a defense mechanism, it was a weapon that could defend Earth against any force, a weapon that could protect them from future invasions. But the scientists also understood that this weapon could be dangerous if it fell into the wrong hands. The energy it unleashed was beyond anything humanity could control. They had to find a way to secure it, to make sure that it was never used recklessly. As the days passed, the remnants of the HFY fleet were cleared from Earth's atmosphere, and the planet began to heal. The humans celebrated their victory, but they knew that the war was far from over. The galaxy had seen what Earth was capable of, and other powers would be watching closely. Earth had a weapon, one that could not only protect them, but also destroy anything that threatened them. The HFY Empire had been defeated, but the universe was still full of threats. Humanity's hidden weapon had changed everything, but now the real challenge was learning how to control it, and how to protect Earth from the dangers that were sure to come. In the quiet moments after the battle, as the dust settled, one thing was clear. Earth was no longer a forgotten planet. It had a hidden weapon, a power no one had expected. And now, the galaxy would know that humanity was not to be underestimated. For years, Earth had been under the threat of powerful alien empires. The galaxy's most advanced civilizations had long considered humanity weak, primitive, and unworthy of attention. Time and time again, Earth was attacked, its cities destroyed, and its people enslaved. But despite all the suffering, humans never gave up. They never stopped fighting. And now, Earth was about to make its stand. The war started when the Draclar, a brutal alien race known for their merciless conquests, arrived at Earth. The Draclar had already destroyed dozens of planets, their massive warships making quick work of anything in their path. Their invasion of Earth seemed inevitable. They believed the humans would surrender without a fight and easy victory, just like all the others. The humans, however, had a different plan. The Draclar fleet entered Earth's atmosphere with overwhelming force. Their ships, black and imposing, filled the sky like a storm. Cities fell under their fire, and the people of Earth scrambled to fight back. Their weapons were no match for the advanced technology of the Draclar. The humans were losing, and the aliens knew it. They had underestimated Earth's resistance for the last time. But there was something the Draclar didn't know. Humans had been secretly preparing for this day. They had spent years gathering knowledge, building weapons, and studying alien technology. They had learned from their previous defeats and had developed new ways to fight back. It wasn't enough to win the war immediately, but it was enough to give humanity a fighting chance. In a hidden underground base, a group of brilliant scientists and engineers had been working on a secret project, one that could turn the tide of the war. They had discovered something incredible deep within the Earth's core. The planet held an ancient energy, a power that had been dormant for centuries. This energy had the potential to disrupt even the most advanced alien technology. It was their last hope. As the Dracula forces continued their assault, the scientists activated the device that would unlock this hidden power. The Earth trembled as waves of energy surged through the ground, shaking the Dracula ships in the sky. The aliens tried to fight back, but their weapons began to malfunction. Their communication systems went down. The invaders were confused, unsure of what was happening. On the surface, the humans saw their chance. The hidden energy from the planet was now on their side. With their weapons enhanced by the mysterious power, they launched a coordinated counterattack. The Dracula, once so sure of their victory, were caught off guard. The humans, once thought weak and helpless, were striking back with a fury that stunned the aliens. The battle raged for days, with the humans pushing back the Dracula forces, one city at a time. The invaders had never seen anything like it. Their ships, once invulnerable, were now being brought down by Earth's new weapons. The humans were organized, determined, and relentless. They were no longer the underdogs, they were the ones in control. The Dracula commanders realized they had made a grave mistake. They had underestimated humanity's will to survive, and now they were paying the price. Their fleet, which had once seemed unstoppable, was now in full retreat. The humans had taken the fight to them, and the Dracula were scrambling to get away. In the heart of the Dracula fleet, the alien emperor watched in disbelief as his ships were destroyed one by one. He had expected a quick conquest, but instead he was witnessing the collapse of his empire's plans. His once proud forces were retreating in disarray. The humans had turned the tables, and now they were striking back with everything they had. The humans didn't stop there. They knew that the Dracula would regroup and return with even more force. They had to finish the job. As the Dracula retreated, Earth's forces launched a final assault on the aliens' flagship. It was a desperate mission, but the humans had nothing left to lose. They had everything to fight for. In the final battle, Earth's forces breached the Dracula flagship's defenses. It was a chaotic, brutal fight, but the humans fought with a determination that could not be matched. They used everything they had learned, everything they had built, and the power of the Earth itself. The Dracula were overwhelmed. The flagship, once the symbol of the aliens' power, was destroyed in a brilliant explosion. The Dracula Empire, once one of the most feared in the galaxy, was defeated. The humans had struck back, and they had won. The victory was hard-earned, and the cost had been high. Cities were in ruins, and many lives had been lost. But Earth had proven that even the smallest and most underestimated species could rise up and overcome the greatest of challenges. The galaxy had learned a powerful lesson: never underestimate the strength of humanity. As the dust settled and Earth began to rebuild, the message was clear. The Dracula may have thought they could conquer Earth, but they had no idea what they were up against. The humans had fought back with everything they had, and they had emerged victorious. Earth was no longer just a small, forgotten planet. It had shown the universe that it would never surrender. And the humans had proven that they would always strike back when pushed to the edge.